take a moment and think about a certain topic that you know something about. Many of us in America have a passion for their favorite sports teams or something like that. Many of us also cheer for our favorite teams, whether it's at home, at a bar, or even at a stadium. Most people have a favorite player or players that they like to cheer for, but not many people know exactly how their team becomes a team, or know how the process is before it actually gets to the majors or the pros. I took the time and delved into wanting to know more about my favorite sports team, baseball sports team, the Texas Rangers, and what they're all about. I found out a lot that I really didn't know. In exploring the Texas Rangers, I will be able to inform you about how they became a franchise and some facts about the current Texas Rangers organization. I feel it's important for you to understand a short background of the history of a sports team and how they became in existence. Well, how did Texas Rangers franchise start? According to the Texas Rangers timeline page off the Major League Baseball website, the Rangers were originally called the Washington Senators. How did they get that name of the Senators? Well, on October 26, 1960, the American League awarded an expansion team to the city of Washington, D.C. However, it wasn't until a month later when General Elward R. Quesada on November 17, 1960, bid for the Washington franchise was approved by the American League. This comes from the Texas Rangers timeline as well. The Senators stayed under General Quesada's control for 8 years. In December of 1968, Robert E. Short, Democratic National Committee Treasurer, purchased the majority interest of the Washington Senators at the winter meetings in San Francisco. Fast forward 3 years to September 1971, Mr. Short sought and got approval from Major League Baseball to move the team from Washington, D.C. to Arlington, Texas. On November 23, 1971, Mr. Short announced that the Washington Senators would be renamed to the Texas Rangers. So if you're keeping track of the timeline that we just discussed, the Texas Rangers were originally called the Washington Senators for roughly 11 years. Now that we know a little bit about the Texas Rangers transitioning from the Washington Senators to the Texas Rangers, let's now talk about how the Texas Rangers are as an organization today. In every organization, company, or franchise, there is always someone at the top running the show or the company. Well, for the Texas Rangers, according to Bloomberg Business and BaseballReference.com, that man is Jon Daniels. According to Bloomberg Business, Mr. Daniels serves two roles as the head of Texas Rangers. He serves as the president of baseball operations, and he's also the general manager. Me personally, I had the opportunity to meet Mr. Daniels during one of the Texas Rangers playoff appearances down in Tampa, where I was stationed in 2010. Mr. Daniels has been with the Texas Rangers organization from 2002, so roughly 13 years. According to the Baseball Reference website, Mr. Daniels in 2005 became the youngest general manager at the age of 28. My first visual aid is a graphic of Mr. Daniels, since he is the face of the Texas Rangers organization. So if we look at the photo here, Mr. Jon Daniels here is on the left-hand side, and he's introducing the new Texas Ranger manager at the beginning of last year, Jeff Bannister. So first visual aid is Jon Daniels, the president and general manager of Texas Rangers. My next visual aid is a Texas Rangers baseball cap. As you can see on the front of the hat, it's a letter T. T represents Texas. As you can see, different colors, their uniforms are either red, white, blue, or gray, so different variety. And then my third visual aid is a Texas Rangers baseball jersey. As you can see on the front of the jersey, it says states the team's name, Texas, and then on the left-hand sleeve, Texas on their uniforms actually has the state flag of Texas on their uniforms. So those are my three visual aids for the Texas Rangers. Since we briefly touched on graphics and uniform, let's talk about some accomplishment that the Texas Rangers franchise has obtained since they became a franchise. All of these accomplishments were pulled from the Baseball Almanac and Baseball Reference websites that I mentioned before. Texas Rangers franchise has had 5 no-hitters, of which one was a perfect game pitched by Kenny Rogers in 1994. This is a different Kenny Rogers than the country singer Kenny Rogers. As luck would have it, I was actually at that game when I was 9 in Texas with my family. Perfect game is retiring all 27 baseball batters in the game without allowing a single batter to reach It's not done that often. Vice, a no-hitter is when a pitcher doesn't allow any hits, but allows a base runner or several base runners by any other means than a hit. The Rangers have had 9 players hit for the cycle. Let you guys know what that means. That's a single player hitting a single, double, triple home run in the same game. Doesn't matter what kind of order. Just completing those 4 things in a single game. They've had 6 most valuable players of the league, so at the end of the year, each league, the American League, National League, they vote for most valuable player. So Texas Rangers, they've accomplished that feat 6 times. And they've played in 2 World Series. However, they haven't won either of the World Series, but they've made it to the World Series twice, so they've represented the American League twice in the World Series. Despite making it to the World Series, like I said, they failed to win the World Series. So in conclusion, your favorite sports teams normally don't start out with the team name they currently have. So for Texas Rangers, like we discussed before, they started actually out as the Washington Senators out in Washington, D.C., but now they play in Arlington, Texas, and they're called Texas Rangers. You can also see that they don't have much success in terms of championships, but they do hold several records. I didn't go into too many records because we'd be here all day talking about accomplishments, so I just picked out the big ones to talk about. Despite those not winning any championships, they're still my favorite baseball team. The next time you have a free moment, I want you to take do some research on your favorite sports team or another interest of yours, and I'm willing to bet you'll find out some background knowledge that you weren't aware of, like I did with Texas Rangers.